Hey guys, it's Dean here with this ginormous beast, and this is going to be the abbreviated version, showing you all the tutorials squished into one, so that way you can streamline it and watch something with not as much detail in the information, but it'll show you all the processes and steps, maybe fast forward it a little bit, so you can get it all from one video instead of watching the other ones, in case you want to just watch this be made in a time lapse. So let's get to it. See a whole bunch of detail, but these small lines you see are from a rasp to create a wood texture. The PLA I get, it is slightly reactive to acetone, so I start off first by either rubbing it down with a rag soaked in acetone. So if you're gonna want to start off, I would recommend glazing spot putty, because it does about the same, and for 3D prints at least, with the lines. But if you have any holes that are bigger or you need more corrections, then I would start with plastic metal first, then go to the glazing spot putty. And this is all after you do like either the first smoothing pass or sanding, and then you sand that, and then you continue with the primer. So I have done a couple layers of priming, filling, and this is looking really smooth. I'm going to take some steel wool to polish it up and then do any final passes. Then I'm going to start on the other pieces, glue everything together, and then get to painting. On the parts that we're going to glue, we're going to sand a little circle around where each part is going to get glued. Then a quick wipe with some acetone. So we want this to be facing up when we're making the Stormbreaker. If this is facing up, STRM, this longer piece is the bottom. This is mirrored on both sides, so if this is like this, we're going to glue like that. Okay, just like the runes are facing upright on this, we want the runes from this one to be facing upright, and this is always on the bottom, so we just line it up so that way the hole goes in there and it lines up like that. Okay, so this thing is made from multiple pieces of metal. You can do gap filling if you want to. You don't have to, because it's fused by 2 pieces of metal in the movie. So you can go straight to doing the last pass of filling and sanding and priming, or you can just go straight into priming and painting. We're going to just do a quick before and after. Notice all the types of sheen that this has, how it's not too shiny, but all the lines look really good. And then I'm going to take a cloth cut off from a shirt, cotton shirt. I'm going to polish up all this, and then we're going to look at it after. As you can see, this is it polished up a little bit, and it's got a little more sheen to all the points, and the corners show more, and it looks closer to what metallic will look like. This is going to make this a little more resilient, but it's also going to make it look a lot closer to what metal is once we put the metal paint on it. So the last thing you're going to have to do is prime the very bottom of this, and then everything, and also fill in the thin cracks with a little bit of filler, but that's the last you do before you paint. last clip, you saw me trying to polish up this area and not this area, which for the paint I'm using is wrong, so I had to repaint that side. As you can see right now, this part looks a little bit whiter than this. This looks a little shinier, but that's because I took a brush and put the Pledge Revive on it, full gloss, to protect it, so that way when I'm going to take a paper towel and polish this area, it's going to be easier not to scratch and scuff the paint, because the paint's really delicate. Okay, the final step that you do for weathering and making it look more like metal is we're going to be taking some shoe shine, the Kiwi brand, and this is black. Take off the cap, squeeze, push, just apply it like you normally do. Then you're going to just take a paper towel. After the entire thing is soaked in it, you're going to take a paper towel and just wipe it off. And don't wipe too hard, you want to wipe softly. Once you have everything primed, you want to make sure that all the spots that go together line up that you're trying to glue. But you don't want to glue all this together at once, because you have to get the head in there first. I mixed 3 different types of browns. One of them is a yellowish brown, one of them is a greenish brown, and one of them is just a brownish brown. I wiped it back and forth after I dried it out on this, so it was like dry brushing. The greenish brown, did that up towards the top area, the brownish brown with a regular brush, and just did it in the small grooves. And once it was dry in the small grooves-ish, dry enough, then I started going over the whole thing so it would leave the brush texture so it looks like bark. We're going to take a little bit of shoe polish and a really rough brush and just make it like a dry brushing all on the inside so we can get a little bit more of the glow lights back into the lower parts. It shows the bark texture really well. So we got all this looking like wood. This nub fits on the side of the Acetone. That pushes past that. We're going to just position these on here, super glue each point, make sure it's all good. After letting the glue cure for overnight, I took a little file, I filed down where all the pieces were glued together, and you can see that there's gaps in there that the super glue filled. So it's plastic to plastic glue, and then super thick super glue taking up the filling spots. So we're going to just do exactly what we did. We're going to take some primer, some paint, and some other hand paints. We're going to just apply them with a brush though. We're not going to spray them on because that would be silly to spray them. So you can take your primer from a can, spray it into a cup, and then paint it on. You guys are paint masters now that you've finished this, so. Alright, so that was the full abbreviated video, and you can go back and watch the entire playlist of the other videos that made this if you really want to. That'd be really fun. But this was Henry's model. He designed it. And thank you for watching. Since this is a shorter video and it's not made for the other content, we're not going to show the other stuff on my Patreon. So we'll just see you in the next video.